All right, so we're diving into the Amen solution today. It's all about, well, losing weight, but in kind of a different way.
Yeah, definitely. It's more about your brain and how your brain affects your weight, I guess.
Right, like it's not just about willpower, which is what a lot of, I think, diet books kind of focus on.
Exactly. So Dr. Amen, he uses these SPECT scans to, actually look at people's brains.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. And from the scans and his research at the Amen clinics, it's pretty clear most diets fail for reasons that have nothing to do with, willpower.
Okay, so like, what else is going on in our brains that's making us like crave that extra slice of pizza?
Well, it's different for everyone. That's what's so interesting about this book is there isn't like one overeating brain. There's like at least five.
5 different types of brains.
Yeah, and they each respond to, food and weight loss attempts differently, like someone with an overactive reward center.
Oh, that sounds like me.
Yeah, well, it's pretty common, and it just means they might, find it harder to resist cravings, even if they really want to.
So it's like their brain is telling them to eat more, even if they know they shouldn't.
Exactly. And then there are other brain types, too.
Okay, we'll get to those, I'm sure.
Yeah, we will, but I did want to mention this really cool example from the book about Dr. Amen's work with NFL players.
Football players. Okay, that sounds interesting.
Yeah, so he was doing brain scans on these players and, with all the concussions they get.
Right. Those can't be good for the brain.
Yeah, definitely not. And the scans were showing, signs of damage, and that damage could lead to, weight gain and cognitive decline, stuff like that.
Wow, so that's scary, but I'm guessing there's like a positive side to this story, too.
Yeah, for sure. So when these players followed Dr. Amen's, brain healthy program,
Okay.
they actually saw, huge improvements, not just weight loss, but also in their, thinking and memory and stuff. Yeah. There's this one guy, Big Ed White, former offensive guard. I mean, he started at 365 pounds.
Wow. Okay, yeah.
6 months later, 40 pounds gone. And his cognitive test scores, they skyrocketed. Seriously, 200 to 400 points higher.
That's crazy. So it's like fixing their brains also fix their weight.
Pretty much. And that's the whole point of the book, right? If you take care of your brain, the rest kind of follows.
Makes sense. So how do we do that? Take care of our brains, I mean.
Well, the book lays out 10 steps. The first one, and I think this is really important, is know your important numbers. Not just weight, but things like BMI, waist-to-height ratio, blood tests, especially vitamin D.
Vitamin D. Isn't that like fur bones?
Yeah, but it's also linked to hunger. If you're deficient, you might feel hungrier all the time.
Huh. Never thought about that.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. And it just shows, everything's connected, right? Your brain, your body, how much you eat.
So step 1 is getting a baseline, figuring out where we're at.
Exactly. And then step 2, that's know your motivation. This one's a bit more psychological, I guess.
Okay, so why do we want to lose weight? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, but it's more about the real reasons, not just fitting into a smaller size. Do you want more energy to keep up with your kids, to feel better about yourself? Those are much stronger motivators than just, looking good.
Yeah, totally. It's got to come from within, right?
Exactly. And then step 3, that's where the food comes in. Eat right to think right.
That's the diet part. I knew it was coming.
Kinda, but it's not like other diets. It's more about nourishing your brain. And there are these 7 rules for brain healthy eating from the Amen clinics.
Okay, give me one just to get us started.
Okay, rule 1. Think high quality calories in versus high quality energy out. It's a mouthful, I know.
High quality calories, though. What does that even mean?
Well, it's about choosing foods that give your brain the nutrients it needs, not just empty calories.
Okay, so junk food versus, I don't know, salmon and broccoli.
Yeah, kind of. But there's this study in the book with rhesus monkeys. And one group, they ate whatever they wanted.
We'll keep a fix.
Basically. And the other group, they ate 30% fewer calories, but their food was carefully chosen to be super nutrient dense.
Okay, so one group was eating junk and the other was eating healthy, but both the same amount of calories.
Not quite the same amount, but yeah, that's the basic idea. And the results were crazy.
What happened?
The monkeys who ate whatever they wanted, they were 3 times more likely to get, cancer, heart disease, diabetes, all that stuff.
Even though they were eating the same number of calories.
Well, Well, like I said, not exactly the same. But the point is, it's not just about calories. It's about what you eat.
Makes you think twice about that extra slice of pizza.
Exactly. Oh, and another important rule is Rule 5. Focus on healthy fats.
Wait, healthy fats? I thought fat was bad.
That's what, like, everyone used to think. But your brain needs fat. Like, 60% of your brain is fat.
Wow, okay. Didn't know that.
Yeah, so you need those healthy fats, like omega-3s from, fish and walnuts and stuff. And Dr. Amen, he even mentions this study linking low cholesterol to homicide and suicide.
What? Seriously?
Yeah, it's kind of crazy, right? But it shows, like, you need balance. You need fat, but the right kind.
Okay, so lots to unpack there. But I'm definitely starting to see how food affects our brains.
Yeah, and that brings us to step 4. Know your brain type. There's 5 different overeating brains we talked about.
Right. Tell me more about them. Like, what are they?
Well, the first one's the compulsive overeater. They, like, have this broken record in their head, always thinking about food, can't focus on anything else.
Oh, I know someone like that.
Yeah, and then there's the impulsive type. They just, grab food without thinking, like at the checkout counter.
Yeah, the candy bars. Call my name.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Their prefrontal cortex, their brakes, they're not as strong, so they have trouble resisting urges.
Okay, so that's 2 types. What about the rest?
Well, there's the sad emotional overeater. They eat to, comfort themselves when they're feeling down.
Like a pint of ice cream after a bad day.
Exactly. And then the anxious type, they're the stress eaters. Food calms them down even if they're not really hungry.
Makes sense.
Mm.
And then you said there were 5 types, right?
Yeah, the last one's kind of a combination. They might have, like, aspects of all the other types.
So it's not always clear cut, which makes sense, I guess.
Yeah, everyone's different. And that's why it's important to, figure out your brain type so you can find the right strategies.
Okay, so how do we do that? Like, do we need a brain scan?
Well, the book has a questionnaire to help you figure it out. But step 5 is actually about supplements. Take brain-healthy supplements.
Okay, I'm going to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
I'm always a little skeptical about supplements. Like, are they really necessary, or is it all just marketing hype?
Yeah, I get it. And the book actually acknowledges that. There's a lot of, misinformation out there. But there are some supplements that can be really beneficial for the brain, when chosen carefully, of course.
Like what? Give me an example.
Well, fish oil is a big one. It's full of omega-3s, those healthy fats we were talking about.
Right, the brain food.
Exactly. And vitamin D. That's another important one.
We're back to vitamin D.
Okay, tell me more. Why is it so good for the brain?
Well, it has receptors all over the brain, and it affects, everything from learning and memory to, like, your mood. And Dr. Amen, he even tells this story about a patient who accidentally got a super high dose of vitamin D.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it wasn't intentional, but it actually made her less hungry, and she lost a bunch of weight.
Wow, okay. So vitamin D can help with weight loss, too.
It can, but, don't go overdosing on it. Always talk to your doctor before starting any new supplements.
Right, of course. Always good advice. So we've covered, like, 5 steps now. What's next? Well, step 6 is all about cravings. Learning 9 secrets to conquering your cravings.
Okay, that's a good one. Because, let's be real, cravings are the enemy.
For sure. But the book breaks down, like, why we have cravings.
Yeah.
And how to deal with them. We'll dive into that more in the next part of our deep dive.
All right, cliffhanger. I'm intrigued. So we've covered a lot today. Brain types, food choices, supplements, and I'm already starting to see how all this connects to weight loss.
Yeah, it's all about understanding your brain and how to, work with it, not against it.
Makes sense. I'm excited to learn more. We'll be back soon with part 2 of our deep dive into the Amen solution. Don't miss it. Okay, so back to those cravings. You promised 9 secrets to conquering them. Spill the beans.
All right. So secret number 1, it's all about blood sugar. When your blood sugar drops,
Yeah.
you get those, like, crazy cravings.
Yeah.
Especially for sugary stuff.
So it's not just me being weak.
Nope, it's your body talking. Basically, your brain's like, hey, I need energy now.
Okay, so how do we keep our blood sugar happy?
Well, regular meals are key.
Right.
And making sure you're getting, protein, healthy fats, and complex carbs. Stuff that keeps your blood sugar stable.
So no more skipping meals and then, like, raiding the vending machine at 3 p.m.
Exactly. And definitely avoid sugary drinks. Those will send your blood sugar on a roller coaster ride.
Makes sense. What's the next secret weapon?
This one might sound a little weird, but diaphragmatic breathing. Deep belly breaths,
Okay, I'm listening.
It actually activates your body's relaxation response,
Yeah.
which can help, counteract those stress-induced cravings.
So like when I'm reaching for the chocolate because work is driving me nuts?
Yeah, exactly. Just take a few deep breaths. It can really make a difference.
I have to try that. Okay, what else?
Last but not least, we got to identify those trigger foods. The ones that like send you down a rabbit hole of cravings.
Oh, I definitely have those.
Everyone does. And it's different for everyone. But once you know what your triggers are, you can either avoid them altogether or, come up with a plan for how to deal with them when they inevitably pop up.
So it's all about being prepared.
Yeah.
Okay, I can do that.
Yeah.
Now, what about exercise? Where does that fit into all of this?
Yes. Step 7, rev your metabolism. It's not just about, burning calories. Exercise is like superfood for your brain.
Really?
Yeah. It increases blood flow to the brain, delivers oxygen and nutrients, and it boosts BDNF, this protein that like helps your brain cells grow.
BDNF. That sounds familiar.
It's basically like Miracle Grow for your brain, and exercise is the best way to get it.
Okay, I'm sold. So what kind of exercise are we talking about here? Do I need to be hitting the gym every day?
Not necessarily. The book recommends a mix of things, like aerobic exercise, brisk walking, swimming, that kind of stuff.
Okay, got it.
And then coordination activities, things that like challenge your brain and your body at the same time, like dancing or tennis.
Fun stuff. I like it.
The key is to, find something you enjoy and that you can stick with. Consistency is key.
Totally. But what about those days when I'm just like not feeling it? Motivation is 0. Yes. Step 8 has you covered. Kill the ANTs. ANTs, like the bugs.
Not quite. These ANTs are automatic negative thoughts, those little voices in your head that tell you, you can't do it, that you're a failure.
Oh, those ANTs. Yeah, I know them well.
We all do. And they can really sabotage our efforts if we let them.
So how do we fight back?
Well, the book has this cool tool called the anteater chart. Basically, you write down the negative thought,
Okay.
and then you identify the emotions it triggers, and you ask yourself, is this thought helpful? If it's not,
Get rid of it.
basically, you replace it with a more positive and empowering thought. Like instead of I can't do this, you could say I'm strong and capable and I'm making progress every day.
I like that. It's like taking control of those thoughts instead of letting them control you.
Exactly. And there's another technique, too, called The Work by Byron Katie.
Okay.
It's all about, questioning those negative thoughts. Is it really true? Can I absolutely know that it's true? That kind of thing.
Interesting. So it's like getting curious about those thoughts.
Yeah.
Instead of just believing them blindly.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And often when we really examine them, they kind of fall apart.
Makes sense. Okay, so we've killed the ANTs. What's next?
Well, step 9 is practice-directed focus. And this one's all about, the power of positive thinking.
Okay, I'm all for positive thinking. But how does it actually help with weight loss?
Well, when we focus on the good stuff, like
Yeah.
the progress we're making, the healthy choices we're making,
Yeah.
it actually rewires our brains to be more successful. It's like we're training our brains to focus on the positive.
So instead of dwelling on the negative, we're celebrating the wins.
Exactly. And there are some practical ways to do this. Like the book suggests writing down 5 things you're grateful for each day.
Gratitude journals, I've heard of those.
Yeah, they're really helpful. And it doesn't have to be, big things, just little things that make you happy. And then visualization is another powerful tool.
Visualization, like picturing myself skinny.
Kinda, but it's more about visualizing yourself making healthy choices, achieving your goals, really feeling it.
Okay, so I'm at the grocery store and I'm reaching for the broccoli instead of the cookies.
Exactly. And you're feeling proud of yourself, confident, in control.
I like it. It's like giving my brain a preview of success.
Yeah, and that makes it more likely that you'll actually follow through in real life.
Cool. Okay, last step. Bring it on.
Step 10, bust your barriers. Because let's face it, real life gets in the way sometimes.
Oh, yeah. Tell me about it.
So this step is about identifying those barriers and coming up with strategies to deal with them. Like one common barrier is other people. Those energy zappers.
The ones who are always like, oh, come on, just one bite, or you're being too strict.
Yeah. Exactly. And the book talks about how to deal with them.
Yeah.
Setting boundaries, communicating your needs. And sometimes, you just got to distance yourself.
Tough love. Sometimes it's necessary.
It is. And then there's the barrier of motivation. How do you stay motivated?
Yeah, that's a big one.
Yeah.
especially when you're not seeing results right away.
Right. So the book suggests finding non-food rewards, like treating yourself to a massage or buying a new book.
Okay, so like rewarding yourself for making healthy choices,
Yeah.
but not with food.
Exactly. And then when you hit a plateau, which you inevitably will,
Right, those are the worst.
it's important to, change things up, try a new workout class, adjust your calorie intake, just keep your body guessing.
So it's like a constant evolution, always adapting and adjusting.
Yeah, pretty much. The main takeaway from this step is like progress isn't always linear.
Right, there are going to be ups and downs.
Exactly. But if you have a plan, for dealing with those bumps in the road,
Yeah.
you're much more likely to reach your goals.
Okay, I like that. It's empowering. So we've covered all 10 steps. Now what?
Now we get to put it all together. And the book has some great practical tools for doing that, like journaling.
Journaling, like
Yeah.
Dear Diary.
Kinda. But it's more about tracking your food, your mood, your energy
It
levels.
was like a food diary on steroids.
Basically, it helps you become more aware of your patterns. When do you tend to overeat? What are your triggers?
Right.
And it's also a good way to hold yourself accountable and to see, what's working and what's not, so you can adjust your approach.
It's like a personal trainer for your brain.
Yeah, I like that. And then the book also has a bunch of brain-healthy recipes.
Okay, now you're talking my language. Give me some examples.
Well, they're all focused on, whole foods, lean protein, healthy fats, lots of fruits and veggies, but they're also delicious. Like there's this amazing recipe for salmon with roasted vegetables and a quinoa salad with grilled chicken. Just, really flavorful and satisfying meals.
Okay, I'm sold. I need to get my hands on this book.
You definitely should. Oh, and the book also has a ton of inspiring success stories.
Like real people who have lost weight and stuff.
Yeah, people from all walks of life.
Yeah.
Who have used the Amen solution to transform their lives. Like, there's Dan. He was a type 1 compulsive overeater.
Okay.
And he lost 69 pounds just by following the program.
Wow, that's incredible. And I'm guessing he probably feels amazing too.
Oh, yeah. He says he has way more energy. His mood is better. He's even sleeping better.
So it's not just about the number on the scale. It's about overall well-being.
Exactly. And then there's Eileen. She lost 39 pounds and, get this, went down 5 pant sizes.
Okay, now that's impressive.
Yeah, and she says she finally feels comfortable in her own skin. And then there's this really powerful story about Cam Cleland, a retired NFL player.
Okay.
He was struggling with, depression, irritability, memory problems, all those things that can happen after multiple concussions.
Really, those are serious issues.
Yeah, and he tried everything, but nothing really worked.
What happened when he tried the Amen solution?
Well, after 8 months, he noticed huge improvements. His attention was better, his memory was sharper, his mood was more stable. He was even, getting along better with his kids.
Wow, so it's like it healed his brain?
Yeah, pretty much. And his SAPIC scans, they actually showed, physical changes in his brain. It wasn't just, him feeling better. There was actual evidence that his brain was healing.
That's amazing. Okay, I'm convinced. The Amen solution it is.
I knew you'd come around. Oh, and before I forget, you asked about Gail, the type 2 impulsive overeater, back in part 1.
Right. What happened with her?
Well, her brain scans showed low activity in her prefrontal cortex, the breaks we were talking about.
Yeah.
So Dr. Amen, he recommended a personalized plan for her: higher protein, lower carb diet, regular exercise, and some supplements to, help with focus and attention.
Okay, so a multi-pronged approach.
Exactly. And he also said, if those things weren't enough, she might benefit from medication for ADD, which can help with impulse control.
So a tailored approach based on her specific brain type.
Exactly. And it just goes to show, there's no one-size-fits-all solution.
Right. We all have different brains.
We do. And the Amen solution is all about, figuring out your own unique brain and then finding the strategies that work for you.
I love that. It's empowering. So where do we go from here?
Well, if you're ready to dive deeper into all this,
I am.
the book has a comprehensive questionnaire to help you identify your brain type.
Oh, cool. So I can figure out which type I am.
Yeah, and then you can personalize the program and choose the strategies that are, most likely to work for you.
Okay, that's super helpful. And where can we find this questionnaire?
It's in the book itself, but you can also find it on Dr. Amen's website, along with a bunch of other resources and, support.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I'll definitely check it out. Well, this deep dive has been amazing. I've learned so much about my brain and how it affects my weight. and my mood and well, everything.
That's all connected, right?
It really is. And I love how the Amen solution is like a holistic approach.
Yeah.
It's not just about, losing weight. It's about like optimizing your entire life.
Exactly. And that's what I love about it too. It's empowering. It gives you the tools to, take control of your health.
Yeah.
And your happiness.
Well said. Thank you so much for sharing your expertise. This has been a truly enlightening conversation.
My pleasure. And to everyone listening, don't wait. Pick up the Amen solution and start exploring its principles. Even small changes can make a big difference.
Absolutely. And remember, it's not about perfection. It's about progress, one step at a time.
You got it. And who knows, maybe you'll be the next success story featured in the book.
I wouldn't mind that. All right, that's it for our deep dive into the Amen solution. We hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time for another fascinating exploration. So, we've explored Dr. Amen's The Amen Solution pretty in depth now. What would you say is the biggest takeaway from all of this?
I think for me, it's that idea that our genes, they don't have the final say.
Right. It's not like we're just stuck with whatever we're born with.
Yeah, exactly. Dr. Amen really emphasizes that, we have more control than we think. Some people might be predisposed to certain things, weight gain, mood issues, whatever.
But it's not a guarantee.
Exactly. It's like our choices, our habits, they can really make a difference. It's pretty empowering, actually.
Totally. We're not just victims of our DNA.
Right. And he even talks about how, his own genetic testing showed he's predisposed to being overweight.
Oh, wow. Really?
Yeah, but he's managed to stay healthy, through lifestyle choices.
So it's like proof that we can kind of override our genes.
Wow. Exactly. And that's the whole message of the book, right? It's about taking control, making those choices that support our brains and our bodies.
And what I love about the Amen solution is that it's not like a narrow focus. It's not just about weight loss, right?
It's about overall well-being, your mood, your brain function, your energy levels.
It's like a whole life upgrade.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not about deprivation, it's about nourishing yourself, making choices that feel good and that actually help you thrive.
Makes sense. Well, this deep dive has been incredible. I feel like I have a whole new understanding of my brain and how to take care of it.
That's great to hear. And I really encourage you to explore the Amen solution further. There's so much valuable information in there. And even small changes, they can make a big difference.
Totally agree. And for everyone listening, we highly recommend checking out the Amen solution too. It's been an amazing journey of discovery for us, and we hope it will be for you as well. Keep those brains healthy, folks, and we'll catch you on our next deep dive.